tukuletedde MTN Kabode essimu ya smart gy'osobola okwefunira olwo n'ogisasula mpola nkugambye yene eri eya kabi ate nga tamanyi endala zonna mu katale ejjirako omuggo gwa yintaneti kati ky'oba okola gwenyiga *655*2# okebere oba osobola okwefunira MTN Kabode olumala okebera bw'oti dduka buddusi ku dduuka lya MTN lyonna eri kuli okumpi weefunire MTN Kabode olwo olyoka ogisasule mpola ng'osasula nnusu 15 zokka buli wiiki okumala emyezi 6 ng'okozesa MTN Momo weefunire Kabode kati dish.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
You are watching UBC News Tonight with me, Sharon Kyomugisha. Very good evening and welcome. We'll take a look at our headlines today.
Brought to you by
how to get points. Just use MTN to make calls, send SMS, load airtime, buy bundles, or pay for MTN subscription services.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Moving on, our hailstorm devastates homesteads in Butebo. Still to come, man electrocuted while cutting electricity wires. And in more stories, Kasaija pledges government support to Kanungu's economic projects.
Was brought to you by Everywhere You Go, MTN.
Welcome to UBC News Tonight. A very good evening. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. In our top stories of the day, Uganda and Tanzania have committed to expedite the oil and gas projects for early achievement of poverty eradication and creation of lasting value to society. This was at the just concluded Tanzania-Uganda Oil and Gas Symposium in Tanzania's commercial capital, Dar es Salaam. We have details from Sigoa.
The presence of both heads of state for Tanzania and Uganda at the Oil and Gas Symposium in Dar es Salaam sought to build confidence and a show of solidarity in the pursuance of oil and gas production.
You see, this campaign against oil is actually good for us because many companies are fearing to invest in new oil ventures. But for us who are already there in the night club, since oil is still in demand, the price is now going up. I hear it has now gone to $83. First of all, we shall use fossil energy for another 40 years.
We have received the stronger support from the Ugandan government to implement key issues that underpin the development of the project. I was curiously listening to the presentations of what was discussed yesterday. And I'm happy to note that our experts have agreed to explore more areas of cooperation in the sector.
Their sentiments are re-echoed by the Ministers of Minerals and Energy of Tanzania and Uganda. Addressing legal and policy matters that govern the industry are cited among critical factors in attracting investment and fostering capital-intensive activities in the midstream and downstream phases.
I want to assure you that in Uganda, more specifically on Tuesday, we are going to conclude the East African Crude Oil Pipeline Bill through Parliament. That has been waited for. Your Excellencies, after that, we are going to see a lot of activities.
Let's do what we can to educate the citizens of our two countries about this project, the opportunities, and how to harness them for social and economic development.
With more than $30 billion expected to be invested in the oil and gas project within the next 5 years, the issue of financing and joint venture cross-border collaborations could not be overemphasized.
The reality is we're at a crossroads where we're investing significantly. In Uganda's case, we're investing 50% of GDP, 15 billion out of the 30 billion in 3 years. So it is unrealistic to expect that we can self-fund that.
The Tanzania-Uganda Oil and Gas Symposium, organized by the Tanzania and Uganda private sector players and coordinated by Uganda's Commission in Tanzania, offered participants a platform to network, understand industry opportunities and challenges, and showcase their capacities through experience sharing.
Even as the world transitions from fossil fuels to green energy solutions, the two heads of state have convinced the potential investors that the oil and gas industry is still relevant and worth investing in. Dennis Igoa for UBC News in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Moving on from that, the Prime Minister, Robna Nabanja, has said government is committed to developing and improving infrastructure in the country in order to enhance service delivery. The Premier was speaking at a confirmation service at St. Joseph Nkoko Sub-County Church in Kakomero District.
Kwanza kutangira mama Right Honorable Prime Minister ntukutangira webale kuija webale muno ntutangira bona boizire nabo mukama yebale kubarubasa kurungi no kubaleeta mu kikaro kino nimwikiriza moyo mwikirire mukama kandi lutuomeza murahebwa kiro kya hati omulingo gw'embaganizo omuratunga sacrament ya confirmation ko kuyahayirwa abatumwa akiro kya 50 amazire kumbuka nimwikiriza eklezia ikirire katolika okuterana mukaba ikirire ekiganyiro ky'ebibi okumbuka kw'emibiri n'obwomezi obutahwaho kunuko kwikiriza kwaitu kunuko kwikiriza kwa abantu ba Ruhanga okutukwatula ntwenyumiriza omukristo Yesu mukama waitu. Vincent tunge manyikize kisemo kya moyo mukirire sije banayo haya tunge manyikize kisemo kya moyo mukirire sije banayo ko muzaire ningamba mutegwa akantu kali omutima tuguteire nka omutima tuguteeka kuorora abaana omutima tuguteeka kulwanira obusinge omutima tuguteeka kukora bobo byaire bedi okaruramu orumbugu okaruramu obukura omanya obukura bwobulekamu embibo yawe tekura kurungi.
The Prime Minister And also, woman member of parliament for Kakumiro district, Right Honorable Robina Banja, has urged residents of Nkoko sub-county to embrace government programs in order to boost development. She said parents need to instill discipline and religious morals in children so that they become responsible citizens who will contribute to national development.
Abantu omulembe kuchukire abantu bankoko baja tuwa parisa nchimanyire na yetu kubasaba abana baitu bagende omumasomero kandi basome kandi mulenge okulangu begere dini omuntu aine dini ebikemo tibimukwata muno yeka amabere amazima nizireke kuba witness tinyira kindi kindesire nkubasaba mu following government program mugende babageme nuko tuleme kufa obwaire buno obwa corona nekindi muongere kukola emirimu yanyu kabucha abantu bahanu bakozi Kakumiro district tetwina majuga munyasi tegalimu. I'm being sincere to you.
The Premier also requested the Bishop of Hoima Diocese, Right Reverend Vincent Chirabo, to grant Nkoko sub-county the status of a church parish, noting that it will spur spiritual growth among the residents. The district leaders commended the Prime Minister's commitment to service delivery. They said she is a responsive and hands-on leader.
Abantu baffe babere mirembe nasomesa discipline nasomesa culture natuyigiriza n'okutuma amanya amalungi mwana wattu mbadde sikimanyi sime munonga mama witu Right Honorable Prime Minister abishe ko muratulebe hanu yakonka katubera omuzire hako kunde kurakurane Right Reverend Bishop obutwara abamu Prime Minister, the first thing she did, she called us.
The Bishop of Hoima Diocese, Right Reverend Vincent Chirabo, called for righteous living among the congregants. He also thanked the Prime Minister for supporting the church to construct accommodation facilities for the clergy and noted that the request to grant a church parish in the area will be put under consideration. Over 50 children received the sacrament of confirmation that initiates and establishes them as full-fledged members of the faith. The confirmants also received their first Holy Communion. Doreen Nasasira reporting for UBC News.
Thank you, Doreen Nasasira. President Yoweri Museveni and his host, Tanzania President Samia Suluhu Hassan, have agreed on various key strategic projects that will deepen cooperation in trade and development, notable among which is the East African Crude Oil Pipeline project that will not only see oil flow downstream from the Albertine region and in future from Kadam and Karamoja, DR Congo and South Sudan, but will also see gas flow from the coastal region in Tanzania upstream to the continent's inland. President Museveni said the proposal to have the pipelines made here to benefit the people was abandoned following complaints that it would delay the project.
Because this one is in chakula iko kwa meza hii. Sio kesho sio nina iko tayari kwa meza. Everything is now done. Then there is the issue of, I'm very happy with Her Excellency, because when I sent a delegation to her, kwenye chitu wenye habari lazima mfundisha watu wa East Africa, wa Tanzania na wa East Africa wengine, chitu wanaita pathogenic economy, uchumi wa maradhi. Haya maradhi ni maradhi, lakini kuna pesa kwenye maradhi. Ukiugua mtu anakupatia dawa. Kama ametengeneza dawa, wewe unapata matibabu, yeye anapata pesa. Shida imekuwa kwamba Afrika walikuwa wamelala kama kawaida. Lakini hii shida ya corona imetuamsha. Kwa hiyo sisi kule Uganda tumeamua kwamba hii uchumi wa maradhi na sisi lazima tufaidike. Kutengeneza madawa, kutengeneza dawa za kuchanja, We must all be involved kuchanja dawa za binadamu na za mifugo. Nilipeleka ujumbe kuongea na Her Excellency akakubali, na tumeshafanya kamati ya pamoja ya kuendeleza hiyo shughuli. So I'm very happy with this. That's another achievement. Joint effort in the manufacture of vaccines and also in the manufacture of drugs.
Ziara Mheshimiwa Rais Museveni ni mwendelezo wa hatua zinazochukuliwa na serikali zetu mbili katika kuimarisha uhusiano na ushirikiano katika sekta mbalimbali kwa maslahi ya pande zote mbili, Tanzania na Uganda. Hivyo basi nichukue fursa hii kumshukuru sana kaka yangu Mheshimiwa Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni kwa kukubali mwaliko wangu na kuja kufanya ziara ya kitaifa ya kiserikali hapa nchini.
From the Kingdom of Uganda, hundreds of people have participated in Kabaka's run, commonly known as Kabaka Birthday Run. The main run was in Kabaka's Palace in Mengo. The Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi II, presided over the flag of the runners. This year's run was organized under the theme Men Against AIDS to Save a Girl Child.
Hundreds have participated in this Sunday's Kabaka Birthday Run, where the Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Muwenda Mutebi, was celebrating his 66th birthday. At Luberi Palace in Mengo, where several people gathered, entrance was restricted to invited guests only. And it was joy when the Kabaka of Buganda and his entourage arrived at the function. The Katikiro of Buganda, Charles Peter Maiga, said the Kabaka's birthday run has been focused on the fight against HIV and AIDS for the last 2 years. He says Buganda has a target of kicking HIV and AIDS out by 2030.
In 2017, a UN agency called UNAIDS, which is responsible for the fight against HIV/AIDS, named the Kabaka of Buganda the ambassador, the goodwill ambassador, in this part of the continent in the fight against HIV/AIDS, which we wish to banish from the continent by the year 2030. The proceeds from the Kabaka's birthday run will go towards the fight against HIV/AIDS in the kingdom, in the country, and everywhere.
He appealed to men to be at the forefront of the fight against HIV and AIDS.
The different kings of Buganda have always been at the forefront in the fight for good health, in the promotion of good health. We shall continue with the fight against HIV/AIDS with men in the lead to save the girl child.
Buganda Kingdom Sports Minister Moses Sekabembe Kiberu appreciated the youth for their effort in fighting against HIV and AIDS and advised them to test and know their status.
We are going to continue under His Majesty the Kabaka of Buganda to continue to fight HIV in conjunction with UNAIDS. Once again, I want to thank everybody. The times are quite too hard, but we have to persist until the situation gets normal after COVID-19.
Remy Chisache from Airtel Uganda, one of the major funders, also appreciated this initiative.
Partnership with Buganda Kingdom is a benefit to all Ugandans. You will look at Fistula for the first 3 years. Women didn't know where to go, didn't know what to do. They were like outcasts in society. Today they know where to go for treatment. We've seen many of them get healed and back to communities and living normal lives.
Some youth who participated in this event also had this to say.
The fact that the Kabaka is here with us when we run, it pulls a very big audience. So the awareness is bigger, the awareness is wider. And even those who had forgotten all about it will again remember and know, guys, HIV/AIDS is here, so we have to take caution.
As the girl child, I advise you to ensure that you keep your chastity, wait and pursue your education so that you can be of value to your country, to your nation, to your family and to everyone.
This year's run was organized under the theme Men Against HIV and AIDS to Save a Girl Child. Samuel Senono, UBC News.
Moving on from that, residents of Kakora and Maizimasa sub-counties in Butebo district are counting losses after a hailstorm devastated the area. Now leaders have partly blamed this on low tree cover, poor building and house planning, a situation residents say is caused by financial inability. Now the woman member of parliament, Butebo district Agnes Amede, wants government to rescue affected families for further disaster.
It is a storm that considered no age, listened to no economic situation, and instead came with a fierce force that left no stone unturned. In the aftermath, affected people are now trying to reorganize what was destroyed, including this house belonging to Godfrey Makanika, a resident of Maizimasa village in Butebo district. It is said to be the third time this house is collapsing, something seen to be brought about by the economic situation.
Amanyumba ebisale ebibala era amanyumba gasingongi gali kuitakali
nolwo utakije tubanawo tuzimba tutukantu tukoyesa bibawo isunga tuteka kuusolya ngomuntu ayolandolo.
Makanika may have been lucky at least to see his house still standing despite the roof's damage. The case is not different from that of 70-year-old Gertrude Biatika, a widow whose husband passed on in 2016. Biatika survived the Thursday evening hailstorm by a whisk as the wild stormy weather nearly claimed her life. Now nursing injuries. This is still what she calls home and shelter. And not even rain will stop her from putting her head down. Perhaps the reason why her daughters-in-laws are seen washing her clothing and beddings, something she says is now a daily routine. Not sure of what the future holds for her is the fact that the roof was blown off and iron sheets mangled. It is a similar situation that befell other locals here in Bubulanga village as the area chairman and other leaders demonstrate.
Tukoleramu tuoneke nti dala tuirukirako abantu abo okukusaba ngo chairperson w'ekitundu kino kuba dala abantu bakosowere ino.
So as this 70-year-old widow heads back for further treatment, together with other survivors of the hailstorm, are in need of support.
We need intervention in terms of health care. The housing itself is too poor. People are sleeping outside. We need at least if the LPM office can come up with at least some assistance, just like they have been doing to other districts.
The situation has prompted the woman member of parliament to endure the weather to ascertain the extent of the damage. Agnes Amede is equally puzzled.
I'll present this disaster incident to the floor of parliament and ask government to give any form of quick intervention.
As she calls for government aid, Amede is also concerned that the tree cover in the area is still scanty.
The other day, the Prime Minister was in Masaka. She gave some help and even promised more help. So it is up to government now to come up with a more inclusive formula of inclusive interventions.
How soon government will act on the plight of the storm victims in Kakoro and Maizimasa sub-counties in Butebo district remains a matter of time. Henry Okrut, UBC.
A man has been electrocuted while carrying out an illegal connection at Mbalala village in Namaojolo West, Mokoro district. It's alleged that electricity shocked him when he cut the lines to get the equipment for sale to welders and ironsmiths.
A man has been killed by an electric shock in Mukono district as he attempted to steal equipment belonging to Uganda Electricity Distribution Company Limited. It is said that the late had made it a habit to steal electricity transmission wires and other equipment. Unfortunately, this time he met his death when the towers lost ground and fell on him. A resident recalls how he got the sad news and condemned youths who don't want to work, but instead wait for things on a silver platter.
People from this way saying that they are in a factory of electricity. There was a man who was cutting the steel. Now the metal fell to him. He did. I ran to this place. I found him. I came to see whether that man I know. I found that the man, I never saw him.
The Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Electricity Transmission Company, Valentino Katabila, said it costs them a lot to fix such damages.
We are here at Namawajiro West, where a great calamity has befallen the electricity subsector here. In that we have the falling tower. Actually, the affected towers are 2. And the affected towers are 2, and unfortunately in this incident one of the vandals was killed. It's very unfortunate. It goes to show the danger that the population faces, those who are involved in such acts. Now we're here. As you are aware, even on Friday, the Minister of Energy held a press conference, again, terming this as equivalent to terrorism. What has happened here, 2 towers going down, is a coastal industry. It is disrupting the power supply to the nation, and industries and homes and hospitals. And we call upon everybody, vigilance of the local population and all the people around of goodwill to guard this infrastructure, because this is money that we must pay dearly for, because if we're going to replace these towers, it's going to cost us no less than 300 million to replace this infrastructure.
The head of operations in East and Northern regions, Nehemiah Chigun, said many people have turned a deaf ear to warnings and sensitizations on tampering with electricity equipment. Ivan Juko, Sharon Basilika, UBC News.
Moving on from that, and we hope that everyone tries to keep safe in times like this where it's actually a cold season. Now, the Catholic community of Rwanda, Deanery of Kabale Diocese, have raised close to 200 million Ugandan shillings for the Bishop's annual appeal fund. The function started with the Holy Mass by the Bishop Kabale Diocese, the Right Reverend Bishop Kaslitas Rubaramira at Immaculate Heart, Rwanda Catholic Parish District.
The Catholic community of Rwanda Deanery of Kabale Diocese have raised close to 200 million shillings for the Bishop's annual appeal fund. The function started with a Holy Mass by the Bishop Kabale Diocese, the Right Reverend Bishop Kalistas Rubaramira at Immaculate Heart, Rwanda Catholic Parish, Rwanda District. Bishop Rubaramira said the funds are to be used to construct one of the best Centenary Bank branches in Kabale municipality. He said this year the church is going to build another Centenary Bank building in Rukonjiri.
Ojo mukristo wa bulijo, ojo mwana muto omu kigombe cyabikiriza. Janjaza obukama bwa Ruhanga omakaga omumbera eyori n'ekitimu cy'omushona. Doro waheza kubujanjaza burabuga ensiyoni. Genda kubagambira akuturesire kali kuruga omubijuma ebyo kujanjaza obukama bwa Ruhanga. Aho kuba
The Minister of State Finance, Planning and Economic Development in charge of General Duties and Area MP, Lubanda Misasizi Aliganyira, represented the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, at the function.
The church has over the years led the development agenda in our communities. And this is something we think we should work with all stakeholders, including the church, to see how we can put the parish model on the ground. This year we are largely doing preparatory activities, and in the next financial year we shall put over 1 trillion shillings to support the activities under the parish development model, among which is the 100 million to support the circle and henceforth improve incomes of the people.
The woman member of Parliament, Rubanda District, and the Commissioner of Parliament, Prosi Akampulira Vegumisa, called upon the religious leaders to help government in mobilizing against gender-based violence.
It is becoming rampant. Every day you open on any newspaper, you see this is happening in a family. The other time we had a family being burned. This time we are hearing men getting problems. Different things are happening. Therefore, religious leaders, please help us so that when you, because they have one of the biggest platforms. Every Sunday they are with the community, and not only every Sunday, every day actually they are with the community. So I kindly request you, please talk to our people. Once in a while, let us focus on family, because at the end of the day, family is important for government.
The chairperson, Rubanda District, Stephen Kasia Bampaire, announced that as the district has set aside some money to support private health facilities administered by religious institutions.
When government sends us supplies, medicines, like now for COVID, we have been able to give them because we assume that even the people go for those facilities. All these are our people. So next financial, the district is looking at expanding that support. Where there has been one health worker, the district will try to see whether we can add another health worker.
The Dean Rwanda Dinari Kabale Catholic Diocese, Reverend Father John Vianney, explained that Bishop's Annual Appeal Fund, BAF, is the initiative of the Bishop requesting all Christians in the diocese to contribute towards building the diocese.
The Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaicha, has pledged government support towards the development of Kanungu district for a socio-economic development. The minister was on a two-day visit tour of Kanungu district projects that need more funding. Area leaders made a number of requests, including construction of roads and supporting farmers. He was received by the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, who is also the Member of Parliament, Kinkizi East, Dr. Chris Bariomunsi, and other area members of Parliament.
Agriculture is the main economic activity in Kanungu district, with tea being the cash cow for the area. The income from the green leaf has grown from 8 billion shillings per annum in 2018 to 54 billion shillings as of 2021. The Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaicha, appreciated the people of Kanungu for taking up agriculture as their main enterprise and urged them to continue supporting the National Development Plan.
Continue also encouraging your faithful to look for homestead income. They must work for money.
Matia Kasaicha, who was received by the Minister for ICT and National Guidance, also the area MP for Chinchizi East, Dr. Chris Bariomunsi, and other area MPs towards some of the tea estates and other agricultural projects in the district. Kanungu leaders presented their achievements and challenges to the Minister for more government support, especially to the farmers.
We accessed 80 million seedlings that is required. We would have planted 128 kilometers of buffer zone, and this is the area that interacts between the human settlement and the park.
Farmers in Kanungu have been operating under capacity, and in this case, the capacity will increase for the farmers and their returns will be high.
Time back when the president visited the estate in the year 2012, he promised to for us a lorry, but up to now we have failed to follow it up.
The Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Kuresi Baryomonsi, appreciated Kasaija's visit, saying it is timely to the development of the district.
Visit at the right time when we are now constructing the budget for the country for the next financial year, and some of these observations, some of these challenges, we are going to budget for them.
He called upon the people of Kanungu to use the opportunity to work towards the district's development agenda.
The visit has been successful, it has been good, because the leaders have showed us the various challenges which we are now going to act upon as a government.
Kasaija asked area leaders to work as a team as government plays its role.
Now we have brought different programs. Please follow them up. We have the Nyoga, but now we have got Parishimodo.
Kanungu has so far planted over 113 million tea seedlings and has 3 functional tea factories. Other projects inspected by the minister included roads, coffee growing, rice growing, and Kambuga Hospital, which the leaders say needs rehabilitation. Jane Ngiramcha, reporting for UBC in Kanungu.
Thank you so much, Jane. Anti-corruption agencies have appealed to leaders to different levels to join the fight against corruption in the country. This was during the Anti-Corruption Baraza in Kamucha, attended by citizens from different parts of the country. We have details on this story.
Namazibet, aged 83 years, is a resident of Unsasi, Sembide, Chikandra, Mitiana district, who has for the 9 years been involved in land wrangles with Harriet in Nakuya. Namazi says she acquired the contested land from her late father, William Matovu. However, his son Esau Sechondwa sold it to Harriet Nakuya without her consent.
Nebakola obuwandiike olwokuba nali sirina bugaanire essaawa eyo ne baŋŋatigira ki te sayininga ne basayiningisa olw'empaka.
According to Namazi, although court declared her a rightful owner of the land, Nakuya insisted on taking her land forcefully.
Naye nga ku bbaluwa eri baalagira Ssekyonda ampe ekyapa kyange kubanga ekyapa gye kiri ku landi sekenyini nagenda n'ekyekinga ng'ekyapa gye kiri. Kakati abo bamanye engeri gye bayungira ne bafunamu ki ekyapa ne bajja ne bantulugunya.
Zimula Zine, aged 87 years, a resident of Mutofu Bibudadeli sub-county, is accusing Slonko former magistrate Patrick Chitio of giving out his 7 acres of land to land grabbers. Zimla said the former magistrate of Slonko, Patrick Chitio, failed to analyze the evidence he presented to court, thus dismissing his case in favor of land grabbers. That one others expressed their concerns during an anti-corruption Baraza forum held at Kamocha, Kampala as part of the events leading to the International Anti-Corruption Day. The Baraza was attended by officials from the IGG's office, PPDA, DPP's office, police, CID, Ministry of Ethics and Integrity, Leadership Code Tribunal, among others. The head of State House Anti-Corruption Unit, Kano Edith in Nakalema, urged the citizens not to hesitate, but rather report corruption to authorities.
We are going to work closely now that all institutions that have a mandate to fight corruption have been here. We have pledged publicly.
The Minister for Ethics and Integrity, Okere Losley, urged leaders to join the fight against corruption.
We go to Moroto, we go to Arua, and present ourselves there for the citizens to give us the complaints like the ones they have given us now.
In attendance was the Director of Public Prosecution, who responded to some of the citizens' concerns.
Corruption is a silent killer because it is not like any other offense like murder where you see someone has died and there's someone who has lost someone. And if all of us actually come together, corruption will fall.
The acting deputy director CID Katoto Muhimbise asked Ugandans to always respond whenever they are called upon to give evidence.
We could be having weaknesses. You are the people.
to tell us what weaknesses do we have in the execution of our duties.
The International Anti-Corruption Day will be held under the theme, Promoting Active Citizen Participation in Social Accountability. Deborah Namamonde, Nantongo Rebecca, UBC News.
Warriors have run away from their homes in the sub-counties of Panyangara, Napumpum and Leletio in Kotido district, leaving women, children and elderly people in the villages. This comes after UPDF constant operations for forceful disarmament across the district and after presidential intervention of adding more human resource and military hardware. We have a detailed report on the story.
This is Nakabale village in Panyangara sub-county, Kotido district, one of the busiest trading center and the hotspot for warriors in the area. But now, most men ran away from the village, leaving women, old people, those with disability and children.
The villages are empty, no one is there at home, people are running to different places that we talk right now. Others are here, you can see, they're just around the center, others have gone to different camps, different towns, different districts.
Live in the bushes there around the mountain. When it becomes evening, they come looking for food around the center places where they can get warag.
This comes at a time when UPDF and police announced a forceful disarmament with the use of Air Force and other military wares. According to the 3rd Division spokesperson, Captain Edwin Mawanda, this is due to the pressure from the joint forces.
Due to the pressure we are putting on them with the forceful disarmament.
Area residents want the number of soldiers to be increased to clear warriors who come at night to steal food and households in homes.
The army is on the ground fully, except they are few. The number is less. Because if the number was enough, they would have installed them to every sub-county so that they are able to cover the security situations of every.
This disarmament was needed at least you put some barracks per sub-county near our sub-counties, where when there is any problem, you are near us. You know, when you are in the brigade, then some problem come to raise here and say you first come and rescue me. You will get somebody they have killed already. That's another challenge we are telling now the big people like in the army to help us. Let them identify this bad sub-county where there is bad behaviors. Let them put their barrack near there to help us also leaders, because even for us now we are working in fear.
The woman councillor Panyangara sub-county, Sabina Kapero, and L33 chairperson Laletio sub-county, Simon Umo, says leaders are becoming the target for the warriors in this forceful disarmament.
They are also insecure as well, because whenever they see you talking to any other person or security personnel, they say they are leaking information and they will become the targets.
Money to stay in his own place of residence where he knows the district chairperson. So what he does, he sleeps here, he does everything in town, he cannot longer go back home. And that's why he wants to resign from work. Because of the security situation of the area, they just want to kill him.
Captain Mawanda assures people in Karamoja that UPDF is working hard to restore peace in Karamoja.
UPDF and our sister forces, the police and other security agencies, we are committed so that we bring peace within the region of Karamoja. The residents within Karamoja sub-region to report those criminals with illegal guns. Let's work together so that Karamoja is so peaceful.
The hotspot for warriors in Kotido district is Panyangara, Laletilo, and Nampumumpum sub-counties. Maureen Iga compiled the report.
Now, the youth and communities across the country have been challenged to reach out to the elderly to make them feel loved and important. Government has tried to put in place programs targeting old persons like the Social Assistance Grant for empowerment, but not all can be reached. Details for that.
The elderly people need a lot of support ranging from financial, emotional to social interaction so as they can feel a sense of love and belonging. To this effect, over 100 older people in a Kisunga sub-county in Mukono district have been enriched with free eye testing services and domestic use items courtesy of Elderly Network and other partners like Lutaaya Glasses.
We are conducting free vision tests to them, and for those with severe conditions that may need glasses, we will be offering glasses for free. Also, we have brought them some relief to ensure that their lives are comfortable, so which involves beddings and some foodstuffs.
Items given include maize flour, rice, cooking oil, soap, sugar, blankets and mosquito nets. The Executive Director, Elderly Network, Patrick Karungi, is of the view that everyone needs to take responsibility to support the elderly.
We're here to feed almost over 100 older people who are extremely poor, who cannot afford food. Mostly, this COVID situation, the situation is really, really worse within them. So we're here to give them a relief with food for Christmas as well.
Uganda has close to 3.5 million older persons, and therefore individuals and communities need to ensure that they are cared for and their rights are protected. Adiana Kote, UBC.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight. Now, in more stories, the chairman LC3 Kanungu Town Council in Gomba District, Chaja Joel Badwozi, reveals in this report that the political leaders at the town council and the district have already acquired a 1-acre piece of land to relocate the grave of Lutaaya, the first Ugandan hero in the fight against stigma and discrimination of HIV and AIDS positive patients. At the late Titus Lutaaya, father of the famous late musician Philip Bongole Lutaaya, the weather is conducive and the graveyard is just in a range of 200 meters from the father's house, surrounded by mango trees. Take a look.
Time check is 8 a.m. We left Kampala for a 2-hour journey to Kisasira Chitemu village in Kanungu Town Council, Gomba District, in the home of the late Titus Lutaaya, father to the late musician Philip Bongole Lutaaya, where the icon was laid to rest. At the late Titus Lutaaya, father of the famous late musician Philip Bongole Lutaaya, the weather is conducive and the graveyard is just in a range of 200 meters from the father's house, surrounded by mango trees. The late Philip Bongole Lutaaya was well known for composing songs to do with HIV/AIDS counseling, fighting stigma and discrimination. However, besides the art of communicating through music, Bongole Lutaaya is described as a hero in the fight against HIV/AIDS in Uganda, having been the first Ugandan to declare publicly that he was HIV positive at a critical moment when many HIV patients were not willing to divulge their status but preferred attributing the silent killer disease to witchcraft.
Out there somewhere, alone and frightened, oh, the darkness, the days are long.
Lutaaya, the Ugandan musician, spent most of his life in Sweden, where he composed and produced many of his songs on Christmas carols. However, Bongole Lutaaya was born here at Kisasira Chitemu in Gomba District in 1951. He died on December 15, 1989. He was buried here at his ancestral home in Gomba. As the world and Uganda prepare to commemorate the International AIDS Day on the 1st December 2021, political leaders in Gomba District say Philip Bongole Lutaaya's tireless efforts to fight stigma and discrimination among the HIV/AIDS patients should not be underestimated.
yayimba era gye yateeka mu luyimba lwe ne kitaawe okumujjukira obulungi kubanga kitaawe ye yali headmaster yasookera ddala mu kitundu kino okusooka ku ssomero ly'e Kasaka.
Gavumenti etukolere okupira ebbongo lyo waffe tumwenyumirizaamu yavaayo n'ayogera amazima kabadde kamukenenya isobola otaasa abantu abalala.
Despite of this plea is the controversial exhuming of Philly Bongwe Lutaaya's remains and be buried at the district headquarters as a monument of remembering his undisputed fight against stigma and discrimination among the HIV patients.
Tusaba family ya Philly Lutaaya bakkirize tujjeyo amagumba ago gateeke ku kifo kyaffe ekya district twabawa teeka namba kibeere ekijjukizo.
However, the relocation of Bongwe Lutaaya remains a matter of controversial negotiation between the political leadership of Gomba district and the family members of the deceased.
Ekyomukisa omubi nti Muganda gye twali tumaze okuteekako ekyo tusaako ebiwandiiko ebisaba Mukama yamuyita mwaka munene mukadde waffe Abraham Tito Lutaaya Kitumba kuluwafire Bongwe Lutaaya bonna kati bagenzi naye kyetukuliza bannayuganda n'ensi yonna.
But a section of Philly Bongwe Lutaaya's family are not in agreement with the district proposal to exhume the remains of their late father and be buried at the district headquarters.
Bafamily kubanga bakyaliwo twagala tukituukirize tujjeyo amagumba ga mukadde waffe tugateeke ku district ng'ekitebe tujja kubanga tukola ekifo ekyo tukyoyote bulungi era kibeere nga kyekimu ekigenda okubeera ennyingiza y'ebyensimbi etandise lukoleveni mu disitulikiti yaffe y'eggomba ate kibeere ekyobulambuzi.
Here at Chisasira Chitemu village, where Lutaaya's body was laid to rest at his ancestral burial grounds, community members are pushing the district leadership to build a tarmac road running from the district headquarters to Lutaaya's graveyard, and the road be named in memory of his name.
Mu kujjukira omusajja ono omuzira bandikoze oluguudo olugenda ewaabwe okuva e Kanungu ku district ne lubeera lwa koolaasi.
Bandibadde bayiyayo oba kizimbe oba batukolera essomero oba luguudo n'awaka we yaziikwa mu Kitemu nga waliwo ekyenjawulo kuba abalambuzi bangi bajjayo naye ekyennaku Philly Bongwe Lutaaya we yaziikwa.
Kati Philly Bongwe Lutaaya twagala bamubulemu ng'amasomero.
Bandibadde kisaana nti ne bazimbayo essomero ne batunuma Philly Bongwe Lutaaya oba kati n'oluguudo lw'ekisaasira kubanga lubi nnyo oba ne balukola ne balubbulamu Philly Bongwe Lutaaya.
Every week, tourists from across the world flock the home of the late Titus Lutaaya, father to the late Philly Bongwe Lutaaya, to see the grave in which Philly Bongwe Lutaaya was laid to rest. It's now 32 years ever since Bongwe Lutaaya departed from the face of the earth.
In times of joy, in times of sorrow,
Tony Hilda,
let's take a stand and
Salung Kasvante, UBC.
open hearts, let's stand up and speak out to the world. Let's send some light, save the children of the world.
As we come to Christmas, more of his songs are played every single day, and indeed he stays with us even after he passed in 1989. Now, the humanitarian coordinator for Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Norway, Derek Class, and country director of ADRA Uganda have expressed satisfaction on peace project implemented by ADRA Uganda at BDBD refugee settlement in West Nile.
Visiting the beneficiaries at BDBD refugee camp this week in company of country director of ADRA, Charles Aguirre, the humanitarian coordinator for ADRA Norway, Derek Glass, said what he witnessed was an achievement beyond the set target.
Seeing it with my own eyes, meeting the people, being able to ask questions and hear what the experience of people has been with the project has been very impressive. I can see that they have a lot of resilience. They've gone through tremendous difficulties, and I can see also even in the host communities how they take the little that we give and they expand it. I think why the results are exceeding my expectation is because we give a little bit, but then they take it and they make it something even bigger.
I was really impressed by the partnerships that happened between the girls and the men of the Bonga group, but at the same time with the local artisans, because I think that the engagement of the local artisans with the program is very crucial to the sustainability of and the future of the local community.
While appreciating the government of Uganda for granting access to land for refugees, Derek Glass said agricultural projects in the refugee camps can have an impact for food security. From 2020, World Food Programme reduced food ratio for the refugees, one thing that led to nutritional challenges in the camps amidst COVID-19 pandemic.
You know, the example that the Ugandan government also gives to the world for creating that space and giving land and giving place for people to settle. I'm sure that the reduction in the support from WFP or the food assistance is having a big impact on people. At the fields and seeing the different agricultural activities, we could see how you know, people with learning certain skills and so on are able to produce more food.
Charity Kaku, a 19-year-old girl undertaking hairdressing at Zone 2, shares her ordeal and how the training is helping her, as Adisu Disiru, a local growing rice farmer, is happy with harvests from her field.
We are just moving in the area. We don't know what to do because we got married in a stupid age where we are not supposed to get married. Like for me, I conceive when I'm in that age of 16 years of age. So it became very hard for me even to care for my child. When ADRA brought us here, I can see there are a lot of changes that we get from ADRA. It is now making the community members to be very happy and they are now proud of us.
Hii maneno ya nani ya mchele hii, mchele nakaa mwezi 3 kama mimi nalemo nakaa mwezi 3, kukaa mwezi 3 mimi nakata inaletea kwangu pesa.
One of the groups have continued to undertake their training activities under a tree. They have requested for more help to establish a semi-permanent shed to cover them during rainy days.
It rains, you need to collect your things, you have to park somewhere, you come back. So my plea is that if you could have a semi-permanent or permanent building for us to be having this.
Derek Glass and the ADRA Uganda country director pray for more funding to come so that some of these challenges can be solved.
I mean, always the funding is limited and we try to assist as many people as we can, but you know, definitely we're hopeful that there will be more funding coming for the coming year and maybe the year after that. And so we'll be taking note of these kind of needs.
If we do find more donors, if we can find more partners that we can engage in, I think having more young people and youth is crucial to the future of the community, both in Yumbe as well as in the refugee settlement.
Joseph Odama, UBC News.
Well, UBC News Tonight will take a short commercial break and we'll be back with business stories, international news and sports news.
These days, our homes are no longer just the places we live. It's where we attend meetings, go to class, keep each other safe, and entertain ourselves. To do this smoothly, you need a reliable internet connection. Connect your home online with MTN WakaNet Max, a fast and reliable home internet solution to power your streaming, gaming, online classes, work, and CCTV security cameras. The MTN WakaNet Max starter kit comes with a free 4G router, SIM card, and 35 GB bundle with no validity, all at 245,000 Uganda shillings. Visit any MTN service center to sign up.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
It's the festive season and we love it. And that means it's time to celebrate with GoTV.
Come with me.
So get your GoCoder and GoTV value for 25,000 shillings to watch with the whole family. And if you're feeling extra festive, upgrade to our best package yet, GoTV Super.
Something to look forward to.
Download the My GoTV app for more information.
Super.
We all deserve a super festive season. And with GoTV, there's every reason to love it.
Raising voices.
Like other fathers across Uganda, I'm standing up to say no to violence against children. I commit to give my children a violence-free childhood. As fathers, we can make Uganda safer for our children. I promise to speak out when I see violence.
In this time of COVID, what is your promise to the children of Uganda? Because a violence-free childhood is everyone's right. Raising voices.
Transact and win money after money with Airtel Money. 1.5 billion shillings in cash prizes up for grabs. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
You're still watching UBC News Tonight. It's 58 minutes past 10 p.m. Now, Ministry of Finance, together with Bank of Uganda, have launched 200 billion Ugandan shilling Small Businesses Recovery Fund. The fund will provide concession of financial loans to small businesses that have suffered financial distress arising from the pandemic and have the potential for recovery.
In the bid to revive struggling small and medium enterprises that were hit hard by COVID-19 pandemic, the government, through the Ministry of Finance, launched a 200 billion shillings for small business recovery. It is from this backdrop that the civil society organization and representatives from the private sector commended the government for putting in place the Small Business Recovery Fund.
Siatini Uganda, together with FSME, and other CSOs have been advocating for a fund that addresses the challenges which small businesses face while trying to access the existing financial.
The Recovery Fund will address the financial challenges of small enterprises by providing affordable financial loans to businesses that have experienced hardships due to the measures undertaken to control the spread of the deadly virus. Civil society retaliated that there are still underlying challenges that need to be addressed to ensure effective utilization of the Small Business Recovery Fund.
We would therefore like to urge small businesses everywhere to get ready to approach their financial institutions once the modalities are in place. A number of our members have already approached financial institutions, but it appears that a number of them are still ignorant of the existence of the fund. So we wonder whether there's a bit of a communication lapse, but we hope that this will be resolved very soon and that the SMEs will commence accessing this fund with immediate effect.
Siatini also noted that there is limited awareness about the Small Business Recovery Fund and appealed to the government and financial institutions to amplify on the awareness campaign.
They need to be fully trained and equipped with skills that could enhance their operation so that they can realize profits and also be able to pay back that money, because it's a rotational fund, it's a revolving fund, it's a loan, they have to pay back this money. So we call upon government to ensure that training is prioritized so that these small businesses can also be better prepared to take on their operations and to recover from the effects of the pandemic, but also pay back so that even other businesses can borrow and the cycle can go on and on.
On 28th June 2021, the International Monetary Fund approved a 3-year financing package as an extended credit facility for Uganda, approximately 1 billion shillings to support the post-COVID-19 recovery. Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
The Minister of Education and Sports is committed to eliminating the alleged rampant unemployment in the country. A senior official at the Directorate of Vocational Training, Johnson Tuliamwesimira, says that those who can complete training in vocational studies should use their professionalism and skills achieved to compete favorably in the world of work.
Despite the heavy downpour in various areas around Entebbe, it never stood in the way of the 18th graduation ceremony of St. Cecilia Kisubi Vocational Training Institute. Over 200 graduates were awarded diplomas and certificates in various disciplines, including nursery teaching, welding, fabrication, bricklaying, tailoring and fashion designing, among others. The function started with a mass led by Monsignor Lawrence Semusu, assisted by the parish priest of Kisubi, Reverend Father Xavier Chikomeko. Semusu advised the graduates to use the skills achieved to be job makers other than job seekers, especially when they are still young. He also appealed to them to be trustworthy in whatever they will be doing, not forgetting to forward their challenges before God for the betterment of their future.
ate olusinga balina ne sente ate nga bayinza okuwawabya awo nno mwerinde mwabagezi mwabawangudde olwa.
The Directorate of Industrial Training in the Ministry of Education official Johnson Tuliamwesimira encouraged them to upgrade their skills so that they can be more relevant to the world of work.
Like what some of you have acquired today, and keeps on progressing up to the highest level of the Uganda Vocational Qualifications Framework. I urge all of you, the graduates, to upgrade your skills so that you could be more relevant in the world of work.
The graduates commended vocational studies as a way to develop socially and economically.
My ECD, I'm going to use my knowledge to train children. I'm aiming to open up my own school, fashion designing and tailoring, and I hope to achieve more in this fashion in this course that I took, because it has really helped me ever since the time I started working.
Story by Fred Kasivante for UBC News.
In our sports stories, Uganda Swimming Federation has completed its national championship that was hosted at Green Hill Academy in Kampala. The championship attracted 20 clubs and 355 swimmers who put up splendid performances. Take a look.
After 3 days of competition at Green Hill Academy, the Uganda Swimming Federation National Championship has climaxed. The championship attracted 355 swimmers from 20 clubs, highlighted by Dolphins, Altona, Aquatic, Jaguar and Seals Swim Club. The championship also granted a chance to para-swimmers led by Husna Kukundakwe, who applauds the federation for its inclusiveness.
This is why I bring in the With a 15 campaign. It's a global campaign that promotes inclusion for the 15% of people who are disabled. This campaign promotes inclusion, like USF has done today, which I'm really happy about.
Though many of the swimmers had hardly swum competitively in 2 years, the quality showed is a sign of good things to come, especially as Uganda hosts the Kana Zone 3 next month.
Then I kept on doing hard work and the results came good.
Well, I've been training a lot recently in morning and evening sessions, and also before the gala, I first do trainings and after I come here. And I've improved a lot ever since COVID, because that made us worse, but we got better.
The Kana Zone 3 Championship is a regional tour involving several countries, where the Uganda Swimming Federation as host, optimistic of good tidings.
To be honest, because we've had issues in the past, with the whole COVID situation, people have been on a lockdown, it's been hard to train, and so far the athletes have picked up in these few days. They're producing tremendous time, you're finding new kids setting new records, and that's making really, showing really progress.
Many of the excellent swimmers from this concluded national championship will feature in the Kana Zone 3 Championship that will also have water polo and open water competition.
Going into Kana, obviously for a nation, for a national gala and swimming for Uganda, I have to come there with the mentality of winning like I've done here and make my times better and also carrying the flag high.
Going into Kana, I'm just going to try and work on my backstroke so I can be as good as I can get it, so I can perform for the team.
Some of the best swimmers at the national championship included Rahma Kalunji, Tendo Aita, Akram Lubega, Swagia Mobiru, Abigail Mwagale, and Joshua Lumonia.
I have been really impressed. Most of these young ones, that if we develop our kids' talents in the future, they will be showing a very big difference to our country.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on UBC News tonight. My name is Sharon Kyomugisha. Have a lovely night from the team and I. Have a blessed week. Don't forget to choose faith over fear no matter what is happening.